attorney who represents several of Epstein's survivors, including Maria Farmer, who was the first survivor to report Epstein's crimes. That attorney is Jennifer Freeman. Jennifer, big day. Did you ever think we would get here?
I really hoped we would get here, but I really wasn't sure. So I'm delighted to be here. It was a powerful, momentous, energizing day, and it was wonderful to be present for it.
The only reason that I don't condemn both sides for the hype and hysteria that has surrounded this release is because of the survivors. And to the extent that they have a legitimate need for transparency, for any type of revelation that there were people in positions of power who could have done something about what was done to them and did not, I understand that. Do you believe that exists? And is that this list of 20?
I don't think there's going to be any kind of list. But remember, let's put this in context. Maria Farmer, as you mentioned, reported to the FBI, the first whistleblower, in 1996, almost 30 years ago. And over the years, this has been one of the largest government and law enforcement failures in U.S. history. And the failure to release the files is part and parcel of that. I hope we've taken an important step towards remedying that piece, but there is much more to do for the government to be held accountable and responsible for their failures.
You say there's no list. Help me understand, because, you know, as you know, my being a bad lawyer and now talking to a great lawyer, help me understand my curiosity that if there are lists of people that an attorney offered to the DOJ, why couldn't they speak those names? Why don't we know whether or not there was ever any action taken against them civilly? Why the secretiveness?
I understand that people wonder about that, but it is really unfair, irresponsible, and dangerous to put this burden on the survivors to release names. They are subject to all kinds of threats as it is, and then to start releasing additional names really is kind of crazy. Remember, this is the government's job. It's law enforcement's job to do the prosecution, to do the investigation. They're the ones that should be doing this, and not the survivors.
I understand the last thing anybody should want to do is put an additional burden on people who've already been burdened by this. But it is somewhat unusual, right? Usually if someone believes they've been wronged and the government isn't acting on it, they will go public and say, there's no action being taken on this. I believe so-and-so did such and such.
This is not the usual situation. Epstein is not the usual person. He's not somebody who rapes one person. He was an ongoing, long-term, international sex trafficker and child pornography crimes as well. This is not your typical situation. He was a very powerful man, made it very clear to many survivors he was very well connected, and there would be consequences if anything was leaked.
And look, clearly he was, Jen, right? Because just that first deal he got is something that I've almost never heard of before from Acosta. So please tell me, while keeping yourself cautiously optimistic, I'm sure, after all this time, what do you hope comes out? Because, you know, their fair point is, hey, you make it sound like we've never released anything. We've released, you know, tens of thousands of things in multiple waves. What do you believe is still there?
I believe they're FBI investigation reports. That's probably one of the most important items in there. And I believe there are going to be some names, although I don't know if they'll be redacted. That's one concern I have, Chris, is that the files will come out, but there will be, you know, very important holes in them. But we'll just have to see what happens there. But it is an important step. But the point really is the government has failed these survivors. Please let them do their job, release the files, and let's take whatever steps we need to take to help the survivors.
And a point of instruction is your client, Ms. Farmer, she has her file, but there are a lot of redactions in it that may have provided dead ends to you and to her in terms of understanding who knew about what happened to her all those years ago. Well, we're here today. Counselor Freeman, thank you for helping me understand your perspective on this, and I look forward to talking to you going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Good to be with you again.
All right, be well, counsel. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.